Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin. And we're getting ready to bring on our first guest. And Lance, we've had a great relationship with Texas A&M University, which is hilarious since we're a show that's actually based out of Chicago. but what can I say? We know a lot of people down there. And, we had our girl, Shamir Little. She was on the show. And then we had who else we have from A&M on the show, Lance? We had
I'm telling Kelly, you saying I'm telling Kelly Bond. And I'm telling Sydney Colson, you was like, you wasn't saying that when you was cracking jokes.
Did you see this is the second time today Lance has just went ahead and dry snitched.
I know. I know. He's killing me right now. Yeah. We had Sydney Colson on the show. We had Shamir Little. We had Coach Kelly on the show. So we want to do a show where we found a coach who was kind of just starting out into the college ranks. We've had a lot of big name coaches on here, and you head coach and serving his years as an assistant coach, that it's a grind. People look at college coaches and they think it's all glorious. It's some glorious, but it's a lot of hard work and a lot of grinding, especially when you're starting out. So we wanted to find someone who not only is starting out grinding, but someone who has a good personality, someone who really understands the game. So we reached out to our girl Kelly when she was here in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. I know Kelly lost a relative recently, and our condolences out to Coach Kelly as well. I know she was up here, and I was like, hey, Sydney would actually be great because I follow her on Twitter, and she is hilarious. So we reached out to our girl Kelly, and she's like, yes, I will talk to Sydney and get her on the show. So we are proud to have on our show a national champion as a player at Texas A&M, and now she's in her second year as an assistant coach at the Texas A&M Aggies. That's my wife's alma mater, which is why I got the shirt. But Sydney Carter's here. Sydney, what's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you? I was just running in. I just got home from practice. I was like, I was driving through traffic. Like, y'all got to get out my way. I got stuff to do.
Well, we appreciate you breaking all the traffic laws and going on. Oh, man, Sydney, it's so good to have you here. Season for you all starts in a couple of days, an exhibition game, followed by the regular season. And just for you starting out now, getting ready to start your second year, you got a little bit of a promotion. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. So last year was my first year. I decided to retire the year before, like kind of in December of 2019. Really tough decision for me. I was hanging around A&M. Started working out. I was rehabbing a knee injury that I got, and then kind of decided that it was just time for me to stop playing, just because I didn't want to train the way that it took for me to continue to play at the highest level. So I came back and just started to work on things as far as like just seeing what type of stuff Kelly Bond did, what Coach Blair did, and then started out as a video coordinator last year. Pretty much did a majority of that. But got my hand in some other stuff. So just seeing how recruiting worked, which we didn't do a lot of recruiting last year because of COVID. So just kind of seeing, how everything worked within the college ranks. Found out quickly that it is a lot of work. And then this year, just kind of using my background and using my knowledge of the game, and then having a year under my belt. Just getting comfortable this year with being the player development coach and the assistant recruiting coordinator. So now a lot more is on my plate. So not only am I doing video things now, but I'm doing some recruiting stuff. So reaching out to recruits, handling paperwork on official visits and unofficial visits, and booking travel. And then also just doing some stuff when I can, as far as like working our kids out, because I am under some rules as far as that kind of stuff goes. But yeah, so I pretty much have my hand in everything. There's never a day that I'm not busy.
I know that's right. I mean, you sound like you're doing the grind. So I guess, my follow-up question to that was, what would you say you learned the most in your first year so that you're now taking that starting your second year?
I think what I learned the most, and I know that I already knew coming into this that I can learn something every day. But I think the biggest thing is that you learn what to do, what you would like to do, and what you don't want to do. I think that was the biggest lesson for me. So you take so many things from people, but you also take things away that that's not what you want to do, as far as if you were to be a head coach one day, or if you go off to another school, you just learn how different things are, and you can really see what type of things that you want to do and what you don't want to do.
Sydney, that's well said. And
Thank you.
thanks for being on the show. And I remember when I first got in coaching, Sydney, right? I thought all I had to do was watch film and go to practice.
Yeah.
I figured out quick it was more than that. But why coaching, Sydney? I know you played in the WNBA, you played overseas. Why did you want to come back and coach?
Easy. It's always been a passion of mine.
Okay.
When I was playing, I've always been a leader on the court. So Coach Blair and I, and Sydney Colson and I, we both had a relationship with Coach Blair where he knew we were his quarterbacks on the court. So there wasn't many times that we had to continue to refer to him and say, hey, what do you want to run? We automatically already knew that because we established that relationship. So I've just naturally always been a leader. And then just playing and then coming back is just, it's the kids are my why. I say kids now, I'm aging myself. The girls are my why. So I have such a passion of paying it forward. I don't ever want to see our girls ever have to make the mistakes that I did. So it really is a joy of mine to be able to be a mentor to our girls and to, just anybody. When I have recruits, I'm talking about my experience. I just love the fact that I can share my experience with people so that they can have a better one.
And just to follow up on that a little bit, because you played for some good coaches. You played for Gary. You mentioned Kelly. You played for Lynn Dunn, who was really good, and Donovan. So is it anything that you learned from those people where you're like, if I get my job, I need to do this or this?
Yeah, you forgot Vic. I got to throw Vic Schaefer
I
in
have
there too.
Vic. I don't want Vic calling me going off on
I got to throw him in there too. Obviously, him and Vic Schaefer and I have a very, very close relationship. So I learned a lot of what I would like to do as far as defense goes because I was a defensive player. So I know whenever I go off somewhere, if I'm working for, here at A&M, or if I go to Texas and work for Vic Schaefer, or if I go somewhere else and I'm working for someone else.
If you go to who?
It would be very hard.
Oh my goodness. Sydney, are you out of your mind? We saw the horns off. We saw the horns off.
Yeah, we're going to continue to do that.
Let Sydney finish that spiel because, hey, Vic used to call me in this office, Sydney. I used to sit down and watch film with him. Go ahead, Sydney. Break it down. Leave Sydney alone.
So obviously, I'm going to take a lot of the things that I learned from him on the defensive end, because that was what I know works. So, I learned a lot from him and just, just coaching with the same type of passion that you want your players to play with. I think that that's important. And then, Lynn Dunn and Gary Blair, I think they're two of the most dominant offensive minds that I've ever played for. So, you just learn a lot from just watching them. Coach Blair, he has so many different things that he says that I just write down every day. He'll say a quote and I'm like, okay, I got to write that down. Lynn Dunn, one of the best things, one of the quotes I remember the most is her saying, Carter, when the shot clock is going down, you slow down. and I was always boom, boom, boom. So it resonated after I got done playing because now I see things, from a coach's perspective. I'm looking in a different view and I completely understand what that means now. So I'm saying that to our kids now.
Are you telling Jordan Nixon that?
You need to slow down.
Are you telling Jordan Nixon that? Slow down?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
I hear you. So, Sydney, let me ask you. Coach Gary is announced. He announced a few days ago that this would be his last season coaching. How does that change the vibe for you all around the program this year? You're coming off of a COVID season, and now Gary is announcing that he's getting ready to hang them up. What's it like getting ready to start this season in a couple of days, knowing that this is the last opening night for Coach Blair?
Initially, when he first told us, it was really, really sad because it's the end of an era. He's been here since I can remember. So it was really sad, but it was also happy because we know he's going to be able to get to do a lot of the things that he hasn't. He's dedicated 50 years to coaching and being a second dad to hundreds of players that have played for him and, putting putting his family to the side at times to do his job, because that's a part of this, one of the sacrifices that you have to have in this job, in this profession. So we were happy for him at the same time. But I think the initial shock kind of wore off. And I think you saw our kids respond in a way where, okay, the best way to honor him is to go out and put our best foot forward like it would be any season. So the best thing you can do is not try to say, okay, we're going to play every game for Coach Blair. We're going to play every game for what's on the front of our jersey regardless. And I think that the best thing you can do is play as hard. He's going to be very demanding this year because he's going to want to go out with the bang. But how are you going to respond to that? Are you going to respond negatively, or are you just going to go out there and try to do your best every game and not worry about, okay, this could be his last? It's just not the way it's just not the way he would want you to do it. So I think our girls understand that. Our coaching staff understands we got to put our best foot forward every day. So that's the best way to do it.
You know what? You guys are in the SEC, and you have several African-American black coaches in your league. You have Joni Taylor down there. You have Dawn Staley. How does it make you feel when you looking on the other end of the bench and you seeing so many African-American coaches? You see Coach Yo at Auburn. How does that make you feel? Does that inspire you to be a head coach? Or how do you feel when you see that?
Yeah, definitely. I think the saying, it's kind of how it goes. I'm probably shortening it up, but if you can see it, you can do it. So when you see that, I mean, there's the limits are none, because you see Dawn with her new deal this year, with her new contract. I mean, I'm like,
amen.
I'm coming,
22 million.
So when you see that, and you see that it's not just about people are just trying to give black women a job. These women are actually doing the job and doing it well. And so when you see that, and then you have their former players. And so I think the connotation with that sometimes is, well, just because you were a good player doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach. And you see these people doing it. So when I look across the bench and I see that I'm playing against a black woman that's really out here doing it, I mean, inspirational is surface level of what it really is. It just lets you know that, like, there are no limits when it comes to this if you're going to put in the time and the work to be able to do this job at a high level, because we are looked at. You know, if you can't get it done, how many more opportunities are you going to get? So it's good to see these women lasting and doing a hell of a job.
You know what? Early on, you mentioned some of the jobs that you do, Sydney. You mentioned film. You mentioned scout reports. I don't know if you do scout reports, but you mentioned that you're the recruiting coordinator and you working with the players. Which job do you gravitate towards the most that you like doing?
Ooh, I feel like all of them tie in. Like if I'm doing a workout with a kid, which I really love to do stuff like that because I love development of kids. I know exactly what they're going to need at the next level, but I can't do that without watching film of the kid, because now I need to know, you know, their strengths, their weaknesses, what I see on film. What do I see that I need to talk to them about? What do I need to encourage them about? How do I need to coach them? I get that stuff through film. So I can't do that without watching film. And then when it comes to just the scouting, I mean, how are we preparing our kids? One, and then two, recruiting in general. I mean, it's just, how am I going to be able to relate to this kid? How am I going to be able to let this kid know that this is the place to be? Because obviously I'm very biased when it comes to this school because I went here. But I just think that we don't there's no other place that does anything like we do here. So how am I, you know, I have to watch film on these kids. Why do I want this kid? They're going to ask me questions about, hey, well, how long have you been recruiting my kid? How long have you been watching them? I got to know my stuff. So I think all of it ties in, but the best part of it is just being able to work with them and talk to them and just kind of give my feedback on what I see, because the kids do gravitate to me because I've done everything that they want to do. So sharing my experience is probably one of the best things that I love about the job.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, being joined by Sydney Carter, assistant coach for the Texas A&M women's program. They tip off on November the 3rd for the exhibition game as college basketball season is right here upon us, and they'll be playing their first few games right there in Reed Arena in College Station. Sydney, let me ask you this in terms of coaching last year during COVID and not having the fans, and then you went to some schools and you did have fans. And now this year, you're going to be somewhat back to normal. My wife and I were down there for a game at Kyle Field a couple of weeks ago against Mississippi State. It was my first experience. So, 102,000 people, we were all in there screaming.
Waving back and forth.
Yeah, they made me okay. My wife made me practice a song for an hour before I could get there. So I figured out it was just a great experience. But what will that experience be like for the women's basketball program this year? You all being able to have fans back in the stadium, and can you see the change in the energy in your players?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think our atmosphere this year, we have so many new pieces on our team, but we also have new pieces like within our department. So we have new marketing people, we have new coaches. So I know this year they're trying to do stuff more exciting with, how our football team, like you saw at the Mississippi State game, they got, people running out with flags and everything. So we're trying to incorporate that kind of stuff to make it more exciting as far as the game just starting. And then we have a really loyal fan base here. So you're going to see fans really flocking in. I mean, we play Texas here on December 5th, and you're probably going to see about 10,000 there. I'd be shocked if you didn't, just because it's Vic Schaefer coming back. It's Texas. We haven't played them here probably since maybe when I was here last in 2012. So, I mean, this is a college town, so you're going to see all types of people coming out to a game. Coach Blair is going to do his job going door to door. He's still old with that. He's going to go to doors, knocking and handing out tickets. I think it's going to be really exciting because we have so many new pieces and people want to see. It's Coach Blair's last season at that, so there's more motivation for them to come out and support because this is it.
You know what, Sydney? Kelly talks highly of you, right?
Really?
Kelly actually talks highly of you, and I see what Sis is talking about. But let me ask you this. I gotta ask you this. Do you like the city edition? Do you like the new uniforms teams wearing now, like the highlights? Because you in the fashion. I followed your Twitter account because my cousin.
Yeah, what was Sydney think about?
I got on my pants today.
Oh Lord! So are you for like all these uniforms that the teams wear, or are you against it? Because like I said, Jason had me follow you on Twitter, and I'm like, I gotta ask Sydney that question.
I like it just because I think that it's what is needed now. I mean, how are you going to really, like, the kids these days, they want to wear all the cool stuff. They want to wear the throwback jerseys, but they also want to wear the new stuff. So this is the stuff that sells now. We gotta keep up with the times as they are going. So if we're just sticking to two jerseys, I mean, people not gonna like that anymore. They like the new stuff, but they like an old feel. So I don't mind it because I'm all for rolling with the time. You can't be left behind.
Forget you, Ira. You ain't had to post that.
No. Sydney,
that's all right. That's all right.
Like he's supposed to.
She answered the question, but that's all right, Sydney. I know why you feel like that because I got evidence on you now too. See, I got evidence on you. Ira, will you please play exhibit number one, please? Exhibit number one. Push play, please.
Sydney, I have no part in this. I don't know what it is.
Oh Lord. Now this area right here is everyone's absolute favorite.
Don't tell me y'all got your own salon.
We have our
in
own
this
salon.
arena.
Yes. So we have our own vanity mirrors here, which a lot of people sit here and do their makeup before games. Obviously, we have our chairs right here because we have a few people on our team that can do hair. So they're the designated hair ladies on the team. They're always doing people's hair for photo shoots or games because everybody likes to have their nails and stuff done for the games.
We gotta look right.
So, as we come back from that, Miss Carter, you mentioned nails, and just looking at your Twitter page, and yeah, exactly. We got the evidence here, Miss Carter. Ivy, can you please post picture Sydney Carter 7, please, as well? Yes, this is Sydney Carter. This is her and her nails. So, Sydney, I don't remember you having these nails when you were playing ball. What's going on here?
And now this is completely different from the Jersey talk, but I can do that because I am not playing anymore. But when I played, I just kept my regular nails, a little paint here and there, to keep it cute. But now that's one thing I can't get with. I can't get with the nails. I personally don't know. I mean, if that's your thing and the shot going in, I don't have any complaints. But if you can't, I just couldn't do it because I was a little rough customer back in the day. Okay? I was getting down and dirty on defense. So he wasn't gonna see me with nails. But now, I mean, I'm just behind the computer and writing on the clipboard.
Okay. So we have more photographs here of Miss
I was
Sydney
gonna say
because-
I actually have my own nail Instagram.
See, there you go.
So yeah.
No, seriously, we need to bring that out there, Jay.
Yeah, Sydney also likes dresses and high heel shoes, Lance.
I do.
Sydney she'll wear her. This is her on the sideline. She's got a mask on. Got to be safe. She's got a high heel shoes on. She wearing her dress and she out there coaching. So she a little fashionista too. And this is one of her. What was this?
This is the SEC championship dress.
That's the SEC. Look, she even got names for them.
Yeah.
SEC championship dress.
Yeah, I just ordered about probably 30 new wardrobe because everybody thinks I'm so extra, which I am.
You ordered what?
Yeah, I ordered about 30 different outfits for the season because I don't like to wear things twice. So anything you saw last year, you're probably not going to see this year.
Wow.
And it's going to start on Wednesday, and it's my birthday month. So I've told everybody November is going to be very, very extra from me.
So Sydney, let me ask you this: in terms of talking to the players about fashion and stuff, because oftentimes I used to tell people that's a part of your brand, so you want to make sure your brand is right. What conversations do you have with your players about fashion for their brand, right? Because you want everybody to look good, Jay, and I think that your brand need to be a part of you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I talk about them branding themselves in general. So what type of product are you putting out? How do you want to be seen? You know, are you out here posting, you know, when you're younger, you can post your, you know, you want to post your bikini photos, whatever. I don't recommend that because I did that and that was a mistake of mine. Because as you grow older, you know, you're not going to want that type of stuff out there. But I talk to them about, you know, just being professional, and it's starting now because you don't want to get into a situation where somebody, you know, when you're trying to get a job nowadays, people are looking back at your Instagram or your Snapchat or whatever, and they're like, okay, that's not the type of person. And you may be a completely different person now. And so, you know, they're pulling up stuff from years ago and you're regretting it. So I never want people to get into a situation like that. So I just talk to them about having their brand and that brand being so important because it could haunt you, you know, as you get older. So what type of product are you putting out there? How do you want to be seen? And put yourself in the best light as possible.
Yeah, and I know Miles Reynolds, who's coming up in a few minutes, he's going to be our second guest. You know, Miles can talk a lot about branding and what he's doing now in his business. And Sydney, just so you know, I got your back. Despite all my male friends want me to post your bikini photos from back in the day, I refuse to do it. So I got your back.
Thank you.
I got your back.
I did some bikini modeling back in the day. So like when I first got in the WNBA, like I actually did some modeling. So, you know, it was the area I thought I wanted to go because I did when I was in college. I used to tell Coach Blair, look, I'm telling you right now, when I go to the WNBA, I'm going to do the ESPN body issue, which is, you go. And I was like, that's just what he said. Well, honey, that ain't very classy. And I said, it's actually classy nude. And he said, ain't no such thing. So I was like, all right, fine. So I did bikini modeling, but now, you know, looking back, I wish I wouldn't have posted as many photos as I did just because I mean, you just won't see me post those kind of things as a professional now.
Right. Well, and, you know, and here's my thing, Cindy, and that leads me to my next question. You know, now that we have the licensing agreements and everything, you know, it wasn't there when you were playing. So, you know, you couldn't have made your money doing the stuff that the athletes now today can do. Let me just ask you, what are your thoughts now on new agreement that was signed and now these players can make money off their likeness and image?
I mean, I think it's good for our athletes, especially as coaches. We definitely have to support them too. And we have to do our best to try to help them with their brand and, you know, asking the hard questions about like, you know, well, what do you want to do? Have you prepared for this? Who are you in talks with? You know, we can't necessarily say, all right, you should do this, you should do that. But I think listening to them is number one on our list. But I think it's good for the athletes because we do I mean, they do bring so much to the table. I'm trying to look for some eligibility right now. I had NLI on lock. Me and Colson. But I think still, it gives them a chance to really, I mean, it makes them grow up really fast. But I think it gives them a chance to find out what else they're passionate about, because the ball's going to stop at some point. So, it gives them a head start, because, in my 30s, I was looking around late 20s like, okay, I know I'm passionate about coaching, but what else? I think this gives them an avenue to really figure out what they are passionate about and to really get on their grind, because in the real world, it's just that. It's a grind.
Let me ask you a question about the new rules, right? And I know when coach is not around, you could get on the court and coach. How have you been taking advantage of that? Because I know when I first got started, I was like the part-time coach, but I was able to do, I did every scout out of 32. How have you been able to take advantage of that rule?
Well, definitely when it's my time on the court, I make sure that I am really precise and to the point with my teaching. So I try to, there's never a segment where you're really going to hear me be quiet in practice. So I may not be the loudest voice in a certain segment, but I'm going to go to each player individually and I'm going to tell them what I see. I'm going to have a film session with the kids so that I can break down what I see on film. So I really do utilize my time to really get out some things that I've been able to chart and note and tell them this is what I see. I open the floor for them to ask me, what play don't you understand? Let's go through that. Let me let you know what the emphasis is on this. So I really do, when I get my time, I've already got notes in my head of what I've kept on all of the kids, what areas I think that they need to work on. A lot of them will come in and try to get individual workouts with me. So I really do use my time wisely and make sure that I'm really to the point, because their attention spans are not like ours back in the day. So I'm quick with it, but I'm precise.
Love
Gotcha.
that.
Love it. And Sydney, let me just a couple more things before we let you go here. We're very happy right now because the Chicago Sky won the title, the first in the history of the franchise. You were originally drafted by the Chicago Sky. So you were here for a little short stint and then you played in some other places. But just what are your thoughts on the WNBA and where it is now compared to when you first got drafted?
Oh, man. I mean, well, let's just talk about the new CBA agreement. I mean, I think you
saw
so much. I think you saw so much growth with that. And, where the players are making more, the uniforms are getting better. We don't know if you agree with that or not. But the uniforms have gotten better. The product is selling. More people. I mean, if you watched that game or if you were there, the gym was sold out. And so how many times have you seen that in the last couple of years? So I think people are really being put on game to the women's game. It might not be dunks and all that, even though we have some people that are dunking out there, but it's exciting. It's exciting. So, I just think the women's game is, I mean, you see so many players evolving. We got Jonquel Jones out there, 6'6". She can play 1 through 5. So the game is more exciting. You have more athleticism. And I just think that the game is continuously growing because every year it puts pressure on those that are coming out of college, because these kids coming out of college, they're ready. They're going to these schools and they are ready to play in the WNBA. And that's just the biggest difference from when I played. The game's a lot faster. It's more athletic. And it's not just 1 through 5 position. It's if you got the ball and you get the rebound, you can bust out of there and go. So I think it's a positionless game now.
Hey,
and I know about Amanda Beard too. Also, Lance, Amanda Beard is also trying to put together a group to bring a team to Oakland. So it'll be good to see the WNBA expand.
It's Elena Beard.
I'm sorry, Elena Beard. I'm sorry. Yeah,
she was one of. She was one of my favorites coming out of Duke when I was growing up. She played at Duke, and I wanted to be like Elena Beard. So yeah, it's what she's doing to try to get a team in Oakland. I mean, it's amazing. You're seeing more players trying to put their hand in expanding our league. Like you see Renee Montgomery. I played with her in Connecticut. She's a part owner of the Atlanta Dream. I mean, it's a fantastic thing that these people are doing.
Jay, and Miles Reynolds has a little bit. We're gonna talk to Miles about that too. But I know we're running out of time, Sydney. We appreciate you Jason, I'll let you close. But hey, Sydney, is Coach Kelly food as good as she claims it is? Can she cook like she claims she could cook?
She definitely can. It is not a hoax. I go over there quite.
Whoa.
Yeah, if she's listening, she better be making me some beignets on November 18th, my birthday.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
Dang, Kelly
Yeah.
ain't no joy. Sydney got a birthday coming up November the 18th.
And she
So
is
we're gonna
listening.
wish her a happy birthday now. And I know last year they had the little power outage situation down there, and Sydney was struggling. She was I thought she was gonna put a SOS on Twitter, like, somebody tell me what to do. It's cold.
Well, I did put one in. Kelly saw it and she came and picked me up. I was struggling and I'm scarred for life. So if that happens again, Kelly, you come get me before the storm gets here.
Leave my sister alone. Leave my sister alone.
Oh, that was
See,
terrible.
she had to call a person from Chicago. She had to call a person from Chicago who used to the cold weather to come get her, because she from Dallas, and her 50 degrees is freezing.
It actually 50 is freezing, and I don't know how to drive on no ice. So Kelly, you and Chris, get on up.
Oh my God. All right, everybody. We get ready to go to a commercial break, but we want to thank Sydney so much for coming on. Hey, they told me I can't let you go. You got to tell us one quick funny story about our girl, Sydney Colson. That was your teammate. That's your road
I don't
dog.
need to tell you a story. Go to her Instagram. It's not. There's not enough for me to say. It would take me all day, and we can crunch for time right now. Just go to her Instagram. Sid Colson.
Shout out to our girl, Sydney. She was a guest on our show last year.
Real quick, Coach Kelly said you have one more time to call her Kelly.
I'm next. You know what? When I go to work tomorrow, I'm gonna walk through the office saying, Kelly. Kelly. She gonna get called Kelly all day tomorrow.
I have nothing to do with this, Jay.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you so much, Sydney, for joining us.
Thank you.
And make sure you gig them. Horns down, girl. Horns down. Gig them.
No.
Oh, he's doing too much tonight, Ivan. He's doing. Take me to break, Ivan.